they're plugging the mic in. Is it on? No. Hello? Hello? Am I on now? No, the mic's off. It was on. You want me to shout? Is Chris going to have to shout too? No, it stopped working. Let's see. Hello? Nope. Okay. Oh, I think we're back. Okay, sorry about that, you guys. So anyway, I want to introduce our afternoon keynote, Chris Needham from Fidelity. He's the VP of Digital Marketing. And I think Fidelity has an interesting story to tell, and sort of spins off some of the things I think we've heard from some other brands here today, really about how video is enhancing, their ability to kind of tell the brand story in a way that, the avenues that used to be open to advertisers really can't do. If you don't know Chris, he actually used to be at Yoyodyne. Okay, does anybody know Yoyodyne? I do. I was there back in the day, Chris, which was one of the first companies that Seth Godin got known for. It was online gaming, and he also worked at agency.com and has really been in the business long enough to really have the perspective that, frankly, a lot of the people we have come and speak don't have, I would like to say. So with that, I'd like you to give Chris a round of applause, and he'll come and tell you what Fidelity's up to in digital video. Thanks.
Well, that's bringing back some memories of ancient days. Is my presentation up? Or not? Great. Thank you very much. It's great to be here at OMMA. Big fan of OMMA. Been to a whole bunch of OMMA events. If you ever get the chance to go to Lake Tahoe in California in the summer, take it. It's fantastic. OMMA puts on the best events. I'm going to talk about experimentation. I think it's going to be... Thank you. It's going to be a good counterpoint to the conversation that we had this morning, especially with the TD Bank, sort of leading with large-scale national advertising. I'm going to be talking about things at the fringes, things that we've been learning, pushing forward on, really trying to innovate with digital video in the context of digital advertising. And really I'm going to talk about it in the context of three big things that Fidelity talks to our audience about. First and foremost is guidance, financial guidance for just about anybody. You could be interested in saving for retirement. You could be interested in saving for college for your children. You could be interested in just saving for a mortgage or what have you. But you can come in and talk to Fidelity about any sort of ways to get started with investing and then validate or collaborate with us around different investment strategies. So that's the first thing that Fidelity talks to our customers about. The second thing is slightly different. It's about talking to independent investors, folks who are already experts, and they want access to the most powerful trading tools, really low costs, up-to-the-minute data and research. They want to level the playing field with the big boys. And third, we're a large-scale, full-service financial services company, so you probably know us as a fund company. Yes, and we can talk to you about individual products that you might be interested in, and all kinds of products that might be. We even have something that was applicable this morning, talking about banking and cash. We have a bank-like product. We're not allowed to call it banking because we're not a bank, but I'm going to show you some stuff that we have in the cash space. Annuities, 529s, any sort of tactical thing that you might be interested in. So that's the space that we play in Fidelity, and I'm going to show you digital video experimentation in that context. This isn't experimentation off in a lab. This is experimentation in the full sort of mix of our national advertising strategy. Specifically, I'm going to talk to you about 4 things. I'm going to talk to you about different display strategies that we've tried out over the last 18 to 24 months, learnings, what's worked, what's failed, disasters, successes, and then also talk about messaging strategies, how digital video allows us to evolve how we talk about our stuff. It wouldn't be a good conversation without talking about costs and production models. And lastly, hitting on something that's dear to my heart about how digital video is a challenge to brand marketers, the opportunities to tell rich brand stories and not just focus on 30-second spots. All right, so let's jump in. I'm going to I should have started my stopwatch. There we go. Okay, so digital display strategies in advertising. We've tried just about everything you can think of. When it comes to pre-roll, we've tried with or without behavioral targeting. We've tried pre-roll with companion banners. We've tried overlays. We've even tried choose your own video. Who remembers, like we were part of a 2-year-ago channel test with IAB where you could choose your own video and basically select which pre-roll to watch. Does anybody remember that? Yeah, like a few folks. So that was 2.5 years ago, and it was a tremendous success. Folks loved to choose their own video. We saw engagement rates go through the roof. Publishers, however, just never yanked onto this. And so I think that's a little bit of an indictment of the industry where you've got a tremendously successful format from the customer perspective, from the advertiser perspective, but simply a miss from a scale perspective in the industry. I think TrueView is probably the closest thing that the consumer has some degree of choice over watching the video today, but still, that's only just close it. That's not choose my own video. In-banner advertising. So we've tried every single way we can to think about putting a video in banner and to create a rich experience. And maybe this is news to you, but it wasn't news to me at the beginning of last year, but it just doesn't work. We've literally tried every single way you can think of, but when you compare engagement rates with in-banner advertising to pre-roll, you're not even in the same ballpark. Pre-roll is 5 to 7 to 8 to 10 times engagement rates of in-banner advertising for us in our category. Maybe we're doing it wrong, but that is just a fundamental learning. We're just not going to do that much anymore. We're going to put most of our money against pre-roll. However, there are these bigger opportunities that are just lurking over the edge. We heard some stats this morning, 30–40% of customers on mobile devices. That's absolutely true for us, and especially tablets. We see in-app advertising on tablets as just a huge driver of engagement when it comes to video, twice what we see in pre-roll, and I'll show some examples of that. And we also experimented with seeding and with visual display of search results that are video-based, but I'm not going to get into that. Okay, enough talking, let's do some showing. So I'm going to start off with showing you a TV spot from the spring, from Fidelity, and then show you how we took the same brief and applied it to a large-scale digital buy, and why we chose to do something unique and not just run TV. This is the one video I'm running off YouTube, so fingers crossed. Do we have audio? We don't have audio. Let's try it again. Audio, please. No, I need to watch. This is a video presentation. Without video, it's kind of. It's a. Okay, you know. It was working just before the break, if that helps, and then the chat went.
Anybody seen an AV guy?
Yeah, he was here and then he took off.
He got kidnapped. Tweet that. We literally don't know where the guy is.
Okay, I'm going to act out the video from TV. Basically, it's a relatively static experience. It's got 4 people sitting on a bench, and they're of different ages. You don't know that they're a family initially, but it's got 4 people holding up photos of themselves at different stages of their life, from when they were kids to when they're getting older, and they're just flipping over different different stills, photographic stills. And it talks about how as your life changes, the really important things with investing isn't to make wholesale changes. Don't get in the market, don't get out of the market. It's about making small changes to your strategy is really important. Stay the course and just noodle at the edges. That's what we're trying to say when it comes to general investing messaging. And the TV did it quite nicely. It would be lovely to be able to see it. But it's relatively a static experience. And what we really wanted to do online is 2 things. One is to make a little bit more visually dynamic experience, and 2 is tap into digital behavior. Now, you may think that, okay, just going on to YouTube and seeing what people are watching on YouTube probably isn't a terribly smart or sophisticated strategy, but it's not terrible bad. But with our target audience, any luck?
We're going to try to pull up on YouTube. What's the search term that I need to look for on YouTube?
Fidelity. It's youtube.com/Fidelity, but does it even run off of, I'm going to need to show, I've got a lot of videos local. Let me just see if it even runs local. And if it doesn't, then
Here's the gentleman here. Can you help us?
no, it doesn't even run local.
Okay, we need to video going. I'm not sure. He said it was working before you.
Well, that's good. But that's not the right. Hold yours. I don't know who's running that. Are you guys running that? Can you turn that off? Yeah. Can you just have my laptop be the presenting? Let's get out of that. Did he disappear again? Anyone know any good jokes? Any? No, we would. So if just like. So this was all hooked up before.
Right. And it's just, is it locking up? Is it?
No, the laptop's not the problem. It's not my laptop.
You guys want to hear some comedy? I do a little stand-up
It's
on the
just
side.
whatever feed is,
Fresh, I promise.
whatever.
Clean. You just see. No, we're good. Nothing.
Well, it couldn't go much worse, really, could it? Without showing stuff, I don't know. What's the point?
BJ's not in.
Well,
It's,
So can I play it now, just off of here? And no, audio's still not coming out of the.
Where's your volume?
So. Yeah, just hit play and it's just not.
As your life
There we
changes.
go. Well, there we go. Okay. Let's start again. Here's the TV spot.
As your life changes, Fidelity is there for your personal economy, helping you readjust along the way, refocus as careers change and kids head off to college, and revisit your investments as retirement gets closer. Wherever you are today, Fidelity's guidance can help you fine-tune your personal economy. Start today with a free one-on-one review of your retirement plan.
All right, so that is nice. Yeah, okay, yeah. But so we wanted a little bit more dynamic, and we also wanted to tap into a digital behavior. And one of the key digital behaviors of this demographic is, believe it or not, going to YouTube and watching Rube Goldberg machines. Rube Goldberg machines, if you don't know what they are, they're fantastic machines where something that happens over here affects something that happens over here and affects something that happens over here. These things get millions and millions of geeky views. So we thought it would be really cool to build a Rube Goldberg machine as a visual metaphor for your life changing and show all of those interactions and do it in a very dynamic way. So this was a homepage takeover that then we got reused into pre-roll. And I'll show you the homepage takeover polite version. And you can see how basically polite comes down, 15 seconds of the video plays, maybe 7-8 seconds of the video plays, and then the ball rolls into the companion banner, which we thought was quite cool. Anyway, so then I'll play the video in HD, and I'll tell you about the results. Right, so that unit got 4 times the engagement that Yahoo's ever seen on their homepage, finance homepage takeover. And then in pre-roll, and when we did a 30-second version of that, it literally got 15 times our benchmark, that specific 30-second and 15-second. And so, you know, age-old debate, do you just rerun TV? Yes, you probably do need to rerun TV in terms of getting to scale. But there are definite moments to find opportunities to go off and shoot something and create something that unique, trying as much as you can to tap into a digital mindset. Okay, wrong place. Okay. Next, I said that we would talk about in-app advertising. This is an interstitial that we've done for on the Wall Street Journal app. You're just flipping through the Wall Street Journal, and you come to what looks like an editorial page, but it's actually an ad from us. These days, farming is more high-tech than high-tech, talking about individual subjects that are passionate for the other side of the investors, people that are it's independent, the folks that want to do it themselves. This is trying to talk to those guys. This video, and I'll run this video, and then talk about the results. Oh, where's my... There it is.
Investing opportunities in information technology can be found in surprising places. Retailers are always looking for ways to track customer behavior, but things like shopping habits and store traffic have always been impossible to qualify with hard data. Until now. Imagine how the GPS in your car or phone works. Presence technology follows the same principle, only it focuses on locations within a merchant's walls. That means retailers can get a map of their customers' routes through their stores, with their consent of course, learning where they go, where they spend the most time, and the differences in how people shop in-store versus online. This could change everything we thought we knew about store layout, all to improve shopping experience. It's just another way information technology companies are changing the way people live and work. And it's an example of why mobile data is expected to grow 92% annually through 2015 and why parts of the tech sector may be poised for growth. Our investing experts draw insights from surprising places, all as part of managing the Fidelity Select technology portfolio.
So we ended up doing 12 of these, 12 different industries, 12 different sectors, because we saw 2.5% CTR on these units. So you come to the page in the app, you read the stuff, you open the video, and then still 2.5% of folks click through. For us, in a low engagement category, that's mind-blowing. We never see results like that. So clearly there's something good happening here. Something bad happening, and this is not a slight on anybody who's hopefully in the rich media vendor space or anything. My projector this isn't projecting what is on my screen, unfortunately, guys. It's really way blown out. Is there any, whatever. Pretty much a disaster. Anyway, so this guy, I'll just try and scroll down. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll go like that. I'll project like that. That helps a little bit. So you still can't see it. No, and that goes to that one. Anyway, there's a click for video here. We've done rollover for video, click for video, expand, any which way you can tape it, and then all kinds of display strategies once you get the expand state, and we just don't see the results. Something that is interesting, again, you're not really seeing my thing, but is day parting. We're using video now in very sort of clear-cut ways. I talked about the 3 categories of Fidelity customers and what we're trying to advertise. For folks who are interested in general investing, we see weekend being the #1 time to reach them. For folks that are independent investors, lunchtime is the #1 time to reach them. And we see such powerful results on the back of day parting that really, we talk about video as just an engagement play primarily, but this is one buy with CNBC's Power Lunch, where we actually see, you talk about awareness generating and consideration generating, that's all nice, but really does it make the cash register ring, opening accounts, more trades, more money into the organization? This is one of those places where we see comparable back-end data to any other type of digital display advertising we do. Truly bottom of the funnel stuff, led and powered by video. I had changed this slide after the presentation this morning. I thought the word visceral was great, and the TD guy kept talking about the word visceral, and I did have the word emotional, but I thought visceral was a much better word, so I changed it to that. But we're not a marketing-led function organization. Fidelity is an investing house more than front and foremost. We've got investing experts. They think of things in very analytical terms, and they firmly believe that if you have the best fact, that's going to win the day. Versus potentially most marketers probably think in terms of emotion or visceral truths. And so I wanted to show 2 examples of things that we're literally just running this week. One is the rational way of talking about a cash offering, and another is completely different way of talking about cash offering in terms of entirely different messaging strategy. Hold on. Guys, I can't navigate my screen because it's just too small. I don't know what. I can't do this. Like, it just isn't. No. is that chap there? Can you come and maybe resize my monitor back to how it was? And just so the display of the monitor isn't at a condensed aspect ratio, it's back to... I think it was in the context of... Yeah, that.
And that's not what you want?
Well, no, because that's like a fifth of my screen. No.
I don't know, sir.
Maybe we go to a different aspect ratio. Maybe we go to a...
Change the resolution.
Yeah.
Display. Adjustment resolution. That's what you want.
Okay, that'll work.
Looking for a better place to put your cash? Here's one you may not have thought of: Fidelity. Now you don't have to go to a bank to get the things you want from a bank, like no-fee ATMs all over the world. Free check writing and mobile deposits. Now depositing a check is as easy as taking a picture. Free online bill payments. A highly acclaimed credit card with 2% cash back into your Fidelity account. Open a Fidelity Cash Management account today and discover another reason serious investors are choosing Fidelity.
All right, nice and rational, straightforward, feature function, thank you very much. And this is what we've been experimenting with in digital channels.
Want somebody to dance?
Wow. Wow.
Nice.
You still got your money.
So that starts this week, and guess where the media buy is? Dancing with the Stars on pre-roll. So that should be very interesting. It starts this week, so we'll see how we do on that. Could be. That was with a firm called Conscious Minds. Anybody know Conscious Minds? They do sort of man on the street, just quick, 20 grand, do it. Fantastic, awesome. All right, in this technically challenged environment, I'm going to skip the production model conversation. Suffice to say, we've been doing a lot of stuff with crowdsourcing, which is very interesting. If anybody wants to talk to me afterwards about crowdsourcing, it's been great. And go on to the last piece, which is about digital expression of the brand. And this is something I feel particularly strongly about. I think when you think, again, Fidelity, conservative company, we definitely default to TV as the primary horse when it comes to thinking about brand expression. The trouble with TV is that it comes with a tremendous amount of legacy and historical perspective on what it means to do good advertising. It has to be in 30 seconds, or it has to be in 60 seconds, or it has to be in whatever it is. And advertising, by definition, isn't something that is, let's be clear, a dialogue. It is a monologue. It is us talking at you. It is us trying to interrupt you, get in front of you, and generally disturb you. And I fundamentally think if you shift just the word from trying to create a brand ad and thinking of it as TV ad to a brand story, the very definition of the word story connotes for me, I've got 2 daughters, 10 and 8, I sit around and we tell each other stories, or I read a story to them and they start giggling. You get this immediate sense of community and communal response. And so just shifting away from the notion of we're in the advertising business to we're in the storytelling business really opens your mind and lets you think in things very differently. And if you have, which Subway, wow, 22 million Facebook fans, a distribution platform to actually subvert to some extent the paid architecture of our advertising landscape, but if you can drive eyeballs in some coordinated fashion to digital artifacts that are all about storytelling, and I think we can all figure that out, the opportunity to tell really interesting brand stories is there. Then it comes down to execution and how great a story can you tell. And the story I'm going to show now it's probably too long, and there's probably a lot wrong with it. But it is a brand story that at least got recognized by OMMA as one of the top 10 videos of last year. And to me represents huge opportunity. We had you wouldn't think of Fidelity and Vice magazine as being able to actually coexist. But Vice came in and talked to us last week about what they do. Who knows Vice in this room? You all probably know Vice. Awesome brand, but doing amazing things. And they were like, it's utter bullshit, the idea that people won't sit through long-form video. They will if you make it really interesting and provocative and brilliant. Again, I'm not saying this is brilliant. It's got 27,000 views, so we're not at the scale of like millions of views of Rihanna videos or the amazing Angry Birds. But I'm going to show this, and hopefully you'll enjoy it.
My name is Marion Louise Teresa Stanger Barnett. I was born July 17, 1921, the 9th of 11 children. Every Sunday, my mother would clean out every drawer to find 5 cents. I never had a nickel other than that. The only time I thought I was poor was one time I unwrapped my sandwich out of my yesterday's paper, and the kids around me said, "Marion eats lard." Then when I got out of high school and business college, I joined the service on January 13, 1943. A couple of months later, I married the man of my dreams, Fred Barnett, in San Francisco in Chinatown. When Freddie and I got married, we decided never to live beyond our income, his income. Mine I put in the bank. When we went to buy a car one time, Freddie said, "Let's go." I said, "I don't want a new car." I said, "I don't want to spend the money." He said, "Let's go." So we went down to see Jimmy at this car place, and we looked at it, and he liked it, and I liked it. And he said, "Okay, Jim, we'll take it." Jimmy said, "Well, how are you going to pay for it?" And I said, "Give me the bottom line." And he did, and I reached in my pocketbook and got out my checkbook and wrote him a check. Freddie said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm paying for the car." He said, "I didn't know we had that much money in the bank." And I said, "Well, if you had asked me, I'd told you." But you have to learn how to take care of your money. Just now, I've got my jardiniere by the door. I bet I've got $500 and change in that. My mother would have been proud of me. I've saved for 2 years to sky jump. Jumping out of the airplane was something I wanted to do. And Freddie wouldn't go with me. I said, "Come on, Freddie, let's go do it." He said, "I don't want to." And I said, "Coward." And my kids wouldn't do it. My daughter said she did it in Cleveland, but I have a big doubt about that. And then when Tiffany called, says, Grandma, I'm going to be 30 next year. Would you jump out of an airplane with me? And I said, sure. Let's go now. When I signed in, they all marveled. How old are you? I said, 90. Oh my gosh, I wouldn't do it for the world. I said, I might be stupid, but I can fall out of an airplane. And the most apprehension I had was sitting on the plane, waiting to get altitude. But once we got there and he said, we're gonna go out at 3, I said, you better push. He did. 3 and off we went. It isn't scary, just floating through the clouds. No, we're in the clouds doing it. And he talked all the way through it. Now look down, you'll see the church. And look down, you'll see where you live. And look down, blah, blah, blah. It's an experience. It really is. You can just sit and do nothing. But I don't. If I sit and do nothing, I'm bored. I'd rather save my money and jump out of an airplane again. That's more fun.
It goes on. All right, that's it. Any questions? I know we've sort of run long on time and technical considerations.
So, can you guys hear me? Okay, good. Well, first of all, that result was so worth the wait. So I'm sorry about that. That was my problem. Anyway, so a question: do you this is kind of a segue into the coming panel, but I'll ask it of you anyway, especially since you mentioned Vice.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about the long tail. And how far down that tail are you willing to buy? What's your comfort level with, some of the content out there that's really popular, but might not, but is a little less vetted than Yahoo Finance?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think 2 years ago our comfort level would have been 0, and today it's 80%. We don't live in fear of our CMO waking up and seeing a video of ours on some odd, weird site. It's going to happen, and there's no two ways about it. We try not to. We don't do a lot of big network buys to start off with. We're very endemic. We're very targeted, and so. But on YouTube, clearly that's going to be the case, and. Frankly, it's not our brand, so it's the consumer brand. If that's where the consumer is, and that consumer is passionate and excited, good deal.
Yeah.
What was the example given this morning though? The consumer was on some. It wasn't as bad as kiddie porn, but it was pretty much close to it. It was like I forget what it was, but we wouldn't like that. No.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's the right answer. So, does anybody else have a question for Chris? Okay, you guys, you have to give him a really. Oh, there's one question, and then you guys have to give him a super big round of applause for what he had to put up with. Okay, Chris. Oh no, it's not Chris. It's James. You better have a good question. Stand up.
This is James from Valley Click. You mentioned that you'd experiment with a lot of different formats. I was curious if you guys have experimented with some of the new Rising Star units for pre-roll.
Yes, we have. We will partner closely with the IB. The big issues is always just scale, right? So that's the big issue. We find a format we love, like the Choose Your Own Video example was a good one, I thought, where we love that format. That was a Rising Star 2 years ago, 3 years ago. What happened? It didn't find any traction in the marketplace. And I don't know why. I'm just a creative guy.
Yeah, maybe it's all too complicated. So anyway, let's see. Do we have any other questions? Okay, please give Chris a very big round of applause.
Thank you.
And okay, so we'll do the panel. Okay, we're going to switch things up a little bit. We are going to go to the next panel, and then we're going to move the coffee break till 3 o'clock. So at any rate, I'm the moderator of the next panel. So never a dull moment. So I'd like to have my panelists come up here, and I guess I'll switch mics. Let's see. Okay, we're live. So while these guys are getting assembled, yes, we are going to be discussing the long tail, which is a very fascinating, crazy world. I think, you know, actually this idea was helped along very much by Joe Mandisi of MediaPost, who was at the Video Summit. And we were, you know, there was a lot of talk there, I guess. I didn't get to go, unfortunately, about you know, monetizing the long tail and how, you know, the advertisers obviously, for the most part, are looking for premium content. But the problem is that there's actually such a disconnect between, not that people aren't watching premium content, they are, but there's so much consumption of video on the long tail. And I don't know why it suddenly dawned on me during lunch, but, you know, as an example, I'm going to throw out this kiddie YouTube star, Maddie B. Does anybody know Maddie B? Okay, well, none of you are 9, that's why. He's a kid who has a YouTube channel, and he does his own versions of like all the famous, you know, rap songs. So he has his Gangnam Style has 26 million views.